After having lots of fun replaying Republic Commando, I decided to play another Star Wars game that I really like, but that I haven't played in a long time. Star Wars Battlefront 2. We all know what happened to Battlefront. In August of 2020, EA has suddenly decided to discontinue support of the game, cancelling all the future updates that DICE had planned just for them to make this trash. Even 3 years later, Battlefront is a game that a lot of people still play, so I booted up my PS5 and gave the game another try to see what has changed since then. I opened it up, chose to play Heroes vs Villains, and after about 30 seconds of waiting, it finally found me a game. I got to choose a hero, and Luke wasn't available, so I picked Anakin. As the game was starting, I was already excited to see if my skill had disappeared or not. And well, look at this.
Set your circuits to overload because the obliteration is about to begin. The light is immediately snuffed out.
As you can see, it didn't look too promising. As I had noticed throughout the match, every opponent had at least level 200 on its character. One of them even had around level 600 on Darth Vader. When I've seen that, I was like, what? The only character that I had over level 200 on was Darth Maul, and one of these maniacs had a level 200 Iden. And I don't think each of them got to play with the most leveled out character, because that wouldn't be possible. When I chose to play with Anakin, it was because someone already took Luke. I am more than sure that at least one of my opponents did the same thing, and he still had level 200, even if that character wasn't his main. And I am not even going to talk about that Darth Vader. It took me around 150 hours, I think, to get to my Maul at level 200. And yet this guy had a Darth Vader at such a level. At least he didn't have a maxed character like I've seen other players having when I occasionally play the game. Also, after 3 years of not receiving updates, Battlefront has gotten quite buggy. You can notice from the gameplay that every time I tried killing somebody with Anakin, they almost always killed me first. There are so many instances where the lightsaber doesn't hit the other characters or someone doesn't get yanked by Anakin's abilities. But that is the problem when you try playing discontinued games. You could say this is a skill issue on my part, but still, just look at the scoreboard. At some point it was 11 to 30 or something like that, and in the end I came out on the 5th spot. So I wasn't the problem. Perhaps my allies were absolute garbage, but I won't blame them seeing what levels my enemies had. The problem here is pretty obvious. After the game not receiving any support, casual people playing the game dipped and started uninstalling it, while die-hard Battlefront fans continued playing. On PC, this isn't the problem, because you can just install mods and play like that, which can attract other people than just Battlefront fans. But on console, that is not an option. So while the normal players stopped playing the game, the ones that kept playing it continued, even 3 years later. And that is why all my opponents got this much level on random characters. When I had thought about this, I decided to try another game mode to see if this also happened in other modes, or just in Heroes vs Villains, because the people playing were sweats. But before we see what I chose to play, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like my content so far. So, I ended up choosing the game mode that was probably by far the most popular, with every player trying it at least once. Ewok Hunt. I'm just joking. I actually played Galactic Assault. I was actually surprised to see that it found the game almost instantly. When I dropped for the first time using the Assault class, the game hadn't started for that long. But here I actually felt the fact that I hadn't played a game in a long time hard. Every time I tried shooting an enemy, I missed, while my opponents didn't. Here you can actually blame my skill, because it is a lot easier replaying as Anakin, who uses a lightsaber, than using the Assault class and readjusting to my sensitivity and weapon of choice. But at least this time I was getting carried by my team, winning the first checkpoint easily. While I was getting killed more times than I could count, I was pleased to see something that I haven't seen in a long time. Besides the fact that the server was almost full, the gameplay looked like an actual battle that would have taken place in the Star Wars universe. Well, besides the fact that Darth Maul was fighting the Resistance. But you can't complain really. Even though I was getting my ass whooped, I enjoyed the game a lot because of the absolute chaos present in the battle. I could see stormtroopers getting killed left and right, Resistance troops advancing on me, and also in the distance Darth Maul killing everybody. It gave me a feeling that I have missed a lot in these 3 years of you being a part of that battle and trying to hide from the chaos. In case you don't know what feeling I am talking about, imagine those times when you were playing with Lego and you felt like you were a part of that battle and you could make the outcome you wanted. This is the exact same feeling, except for the last part that really depends on your allies and enemies. But this was the thing that not even Heroes vs Villains, my favorite game mode, had. And you can see in the footage, it was complete chaos with people getting destroyed everywhere, and I enjoyed every second of it. I also played a little bit of Ewok Hunt, but couldn't record gameplay. That also gave me a similar feeling, but this time it wasn't of awe, it was of pure fear. And I am not even kidding. You try playing alone that mode with headphones on. My heart jumped at least 3 times. So, what is the verdict here? How is Battlefront 2 3 years later, and should you be playing this game again after that long? Well, I can say that there is a problem with sweats in the game, especially if you like Heroes vs Villains or Hero Showdown. These are the only 2 game modes that really lost some flavor over these 3 years because every Battlefront tryhard plays these 2. Also, the gameplay feels a little buggy, but the other game modes like, for example, Galactic Assault, are actually really fun even to this day, bringing back to me old memories. It is crazy to think how much Battlefront 2 has evolved. From the very problematic launch that made history, with an EA employee's response on Reddit being the most disliked comment of all time, DICE managed to transform this into the best Star Wars multiplayer game by changing the bad stuff in the game and adding things that actually made sense. And when it finally redeemed itself and people started coming back to play it, EA suddenly decided out of nowhere to cancel support for it and launch another failure of a game known as Battlefield 2042. To this day, the impact of that decision is still being felt. When we found out that Ahsoka was going to be in the next content update along with Asajj Ventress and the Mustafar map, it hurt even more. We still don't have a new multiplayer game since the end of Battlefront, besides Squadrons, which doesn't really count because it's a very niche game, and all the Star Wars games on the horizon are single player for some reason. I am curious to see how much more time it will take for some developer studio to finally decide we need a new Star Wars multiplayer game and actually make one, or even a third Battlefront game. That would be a dream for me and you watching this video, but unfortunately, it looks like we will need to wait a while for that to happen. Battlefront 2 is a game that any Star Wars fan can pick up and have fun in. So, in conclusion, yeah, I think you should definitely play Battlefront 2 again because it is really fun even nowadays. However, be ready to encounter those tryhard fans that only play this game and nothing else. If you also want to see why we need another Star Wars game like Republic Commando, the video is right here for you to click on it. Bye.